Okay, so problem number 4, this is part 2 of the recording. It says, you overheard a classmate talking to a new student and telling them about this graph. They told the student that the slope is 2/3. That's the rise over run. Rise over run, 2/3. So up 2 to the right 3. And that it has 2 zeros. That this graph has 2 zeros. Remember, zeros are x-intercepts. And that those 2 zeros are -2 and 3. Is it correct or not correct? So first of all, what is my 0? 3. It only has 1 0. So the 0 is at 3, 0. And it only has 1. So that student messed up right there. So what's that other? The -2 is not a 0. What is it? It's the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is at 0, -2. So that's where the student messed up. What about the slope? Is the slope correct? Let's look. From this point to this point, rise over run. How much is my rise? 2. How much is my run? 3. So that slope is correct. Check. So the only thing that the student messed up on is that it does not have 2 zeros. It has 1 0, and that the other number is the y-intercept. So this is the y-intercept and this is the 0. Y-intercept and 0. Okay? Problem number 5. Okay. You were given a 10-pound puppy for your birthday. The puppy has been gaining on average 2 pounds per week. After X weeks, he is weighing 22 pounds. What is the domain and the range of this situation if Y is the total weight and X is the weeks the puppy is growing? So let's write that down. We need a little table over here of that information. X and Y. X is the number of weeks. And Y is the number of pounds. Right? Which one is domain and which one is range? Which one's my domain? The X. So write down domain. And write down range for Y. So I know that my domain is the weeks and that my range is the pounds. So how many weeks passed? Do we know or we don't know? We don't know, but I know that at 0 weeks, how much does the puppy weigh? 10 pounds. 0 weeks, that's when he got it, right? 10 pounds. And that the puppy is gaining 2 pounds per week. So 2 pounds per week, that's 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. Can I find out how many weeks pass by? Yes. This is 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks. So, let's answer these questions. It says, which answers below are true? If an answer choice is false, explain why. So A, the domain is from 0 to 6. Is this true, yes or no? From 0 to 6. Yes. Okay? Now, sometimes they do it like this, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but the puppy's still growing in between those weeks, right? So we're going to do 0 to 6 for the domain. So yes, this is true. B, is the range 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? No, that's not true. No, it's from 10 to 22. And it can be in between because puppies can weigh 0.5 pounds, 0.8 pounds, like that, like in between numbers. Letter C, it says that the range is 10 to 22. Yes or no? Yes. D says that the domain is all real numbers. Is this true? Yes or no? Can the domain be all real numbers? Can it be negative numbers? No. All real numbers is negative numbers. And I cannot have negative weeks. We're talking about weeks. I cannot have negative weeks, and I cannot have infinity, right? Because the puppy's probably not going to grow up to infinity. He's going to die at some point. That poor puppy. So we're going to say no, because we cannot have negative weeks. No negative weeks. But also because it cannot go to infinity. And then E says that the range is 0, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22. No, because we started at 10, right? Not 0. And he can grow in between the 10 pounds and the 12 pounds, right? 11 pounds and so forth and so on. So this is no, because there's in between numbers, and the puppy never weighed 0 pounds. The puppy never weighed 0 pounds. Even when he was born, the puppy can't weigh 0 pounds, right? When it was in the stomach, it was still a little tiny seed that weighed something, right? So it never weighed 0 pounds, never. Okay, let's go to the next one. And I'm going to have to make this one smaller. Okay, so here we go. Now we're doing rise over run, and I can tell because somebody did some work on here. Let's read. It says, when I found the rate of change of the function below, I came up with $1 per kilogram, because I counted the slope by going 1, up 1, and over 1. However, my teacher said that for me to look over my work, because yes, he's going up 1 over 1, but how much is my graph going by? Hundreds, right? 50s, because each little line is 50. So this is 50. This is 150. So write it on your paper. This is 250. This is 350. So really it's going up by 50 every time. So when he did the rise, it wasn't up 1. It was up how much? 50. So the rise was really 50. Up 50. And then the run, well, how much is this little line going by? From 0 to 5 is 5, right? What's in between 0 and 5? 2.5. Okay, each little line here is going by 2.5. So how much did I go over? 2.5. 2.5 to the right. Right? And then you divide it. So you would use the calculator to divide 50 divided by 2.5. Now, there's an easier way. Okay? You can also make a table. So everybody, let's make a table. And all I need is 2 or 3 points. So what's my first point? 0, 0. What's my second point? 2.5 and 50. And let's just pick one more point. What's the third point? No, the x goes first. What number is this? This is 5. 5 and 100. The next one is 7.5. El siguiente es 7.5. This one right here. But this one is 5 and 100. Okay? So where would I put my table? Stat. So write it down. We're going to put it in stat, enter, and then we're going to hit stat, arrow over to calc, and then 4. All right, so we are in the calculator, the regular calculator. So right here, everybody follow along on your calculator. So we're going to hit the button that says stat. And we're going to press enter. Okay, so if you have numbers on there, just delete them. Make sure that you have an L1 and an L2. If you don't have L1 and L2 up at the top right here, then you need to clear the calculator. Second plus 712. Okay, so right here I would put 0, enter, 2.5, enter, 5, enter. On the other side, I would put 0, enter, 50, enter, and 100, enter. Okay? Then you hit stat again. Use the little arrow over to calc and press the number 4 and then enter. And it gives you the equation including the slope. So what is the equation? Y equals 20x plus 0. So let's write that down on our paper. The equation for this line is y equals 20x plus 0. 0 because it started at 0, that's my y-intercept, and 20 is my slope. When you divided 50 by 2.5, you should have gotten 20. $20 every per kilogram. $20 per kilogram because every kilogram is costing us $20. Okay, so number 1, where was his mistake? That he wasn't counting by 50s. Okay, and over here he wasn't counting by 2.5s. So he was, these little lines were wrong. His, units were wrong. So he's going up by 50 and over by 2.5, and he was saying 1 over by 1. So we're just going to say it was up 50 and over 2.5. Okay? What is the initial value of the function? Initial value is where you started. So what's the initial value of this? 0, initial, inicial, donde comenzaron. Valor inicial. Initial value is 0. What type of slope is represented by the graph? It's a positive slope, right? Because it's going positive, and it's 20. So we're going to say it's $20 per kilogram, and it's a positive number. And how many zeros does this function have? How many? How many zeros? Remember, zeros means what? X-intercept. So how many x-intercepts do I see here? 1. There's only 1. Okay? At the bottom, you have a little bit of space. I want you to, we're going to do this one on the next video.